Yo, why did I wait so long to play this game? Yo! Hey, how's it going, guys? Ricky Summer here, and today I've come back in time to talk about Warframe. Finally, in the year of our Lord 2020. But first, a message from our sponsor.
Chrome Stallions, Armored Mercenary Company. No job is too big.
Okay, welcome to Warframe. So I'm making this video because I've had a really tough time getting into Warframe. I tried it a few years ago, and after like 1 or 2 hours in the game, I washed out. I wasn't bored, but I was so mortally confused as to what was going on, not just in the story, but in the gameplay loop. And I don't mean like the moment-to-moment gameplay. That's easy to understand. You go into a mission, you go into an instance, and you shoot things, you hack at them with a sword, and then you complete the objective, and that's it. It's actually very, very simple, and that's one of the things I like about it. What I didn't understand was the gameplay loop. What's the point? What's the context of the missions, you know? So I washed out after very little playtime. Even, like, I don't think I even finished the prologue, you know, which is essentially the tutorial of sorts. And part of the issue was that the game is just so dense that even though the start of the game puts you down this very linear path, there's all these things jumping out at you that make you go, hang on, should I know what that is? Should I be worrying about that? Hang on, I don't know what that is. Have I missed something in the tutorial? And because you can't reset your account and start again, it just, it's a recipe for people washing out, I think. And just like I did, I felt like if I could have started again, I probably would have and paid more attention to the tutorial. But I couldn't, so I actually just quit the game. So I've tried it again here in the year of our Lord 2020, and I've given it a good solid chance, and I gotta say, after maybe 20 hours in the game so far, I love it. I do, and I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to do my best to explain what the game is. As silly as that may sound, some of you may, especially veterans, might be going to, like, what's the point of that? That's just... You run out of video ideas, buddy. No. This is the type of video that I wish I'd gotten, that I wish I'd watched all those years ago when I first tried Warframe, because I just had no idea what the game was about, what the context of it was, what the loop was. So a lot of people compare Warframe to Destiny, right? Like that's the big comparison. Now I don't have a lot of experience with Destiny. I've played maybe 3-4 hours of Destiny 2, and I got bored really quick. So it's just I just don't think that game is for me. And you know, it had a similar issue in that there was a lot going on, and I didn't really understand what to do. Like aside from just going through missions, like what's the loop, you know? So maybe that's like an issue with the genre and me specifically, that, you know, it doesn't really explain itself very well, and maybe I'm just a little bit dense, I don't know. But I think a better comparison, in my opinion, for Warframe is like a traditional action RPG. If you go in, if you like, you know, ARPGs like Path of Exile, Diablo, if you're into that sort of thing, and Warframe, you know, you're interested by the concept of it, but haven't been able to get into it or haven't tried it yet, think of it, in my opinion, I think you should think of it more like a traditional action RPG. And once I sort of realized that and made that connection in my head, I'm like, yo, okay, now I'm in. Now I'm on board 100%. I get it, you know? The gameplay, the moment-to-moment gameplay is very, very simple. You know, you can turn your brain off. Yeah, it's frantic, it's fast-paced, but you can turn your brain off for the most part and just enjoy it. Sit back, relax, and enjoy it. The fun comes, the complexity comes in the periphery stuff, in the planning of your build, you know, resource management, for lack of a better term. And that stuff I find actually very engaging. And the way that Warframe does it just a little bit differently to a traditional action RPG, I find very satisfying. So normally you might expect to you know, you've got a build idea and you need a very specific piece of equipment to really tie it all together. So you're running a dungeon for 50 hours or whatever, however long it takes for it to drop, because there'll be a probability or whatever. And then you finally get that item, and your build is complete. In Warframe, the RNG is kind of set at a different point. So you have your build idea, like you know exactly what you want to get. So you might go to the market and you'll go, let's go to weapons here. We'll go to melee weapons because I've actually got something in mind. I want the Magister. Why? Because it's a mace. And I got a indecent, just real dirty, kind of uncomfortable love of maces, and I need it. I don't care if it's good, I just need that mace. Please, Craigasms in chat. Thank you very much. Okay, so I need this mace. So all I have to do is buy the blueprint, or maybe I'll get it from a reward. I don't know if that's possible for this particular item, but I have, you can get weapons as rewards. But yeah, I can just buy the blueprint, and then it's just a matter of farming up those resources you see on the screen right there, and you build it, and you've got it. So you don't actually have to like grind for the item. You grind for the resources to make the item. And I quite like that. It's a subtle difference, but I quite like it. Because then like you know exactly what you're going to get. You can plan for what you need for your build, and you will get it. Because there's no RNG in the actual like itemization, as far as I'm aware. There is RNG in certain drops, but I think maybe more to do with mods to augment your gear. So it's not completely devoid of that concept, but I personally really like that the basic itemization is like it's set. You just buy the blueprint, or you get the blueprint in a reward for what you want to use, and you build it. As simple as that. And then you go to your foundry over here. And for example, the Boltor, which I just got, and I just built it, just finished actually. The Boltor requires these resources that are clearly labeled, and you build it. You click on it, and then it'll run down a timer, and that's in real time. So there is kind of almost an element of it being incremental. Not a clicker game necessarily, but an incremental game where you set something to build, and then you come back later. You can speed it up with what they call it, platinum, which is purchasable with real world money, but you can also earn it in game. You do it via trading. Now that's not something I'm necessarily going to get into right now because I haven't done it yet myself, but it is worth noting that the premium currency is earnable in game. So I believe the way that it works is you may look for what is currently sought after in the market, and then you will farm up that item and then trade it to other players, and they will give you platinum in exchange. There you go. And then you can use that to buy more slots for equipment and or rush construction of things if you want, or cosmetics. You can buy cosmetics with it. So I quite like that. That's the way I see it. That's the basic loop. You go into instance missions to get resources and blueprints, to then build items from those blueprints and resources to put your build together, strengthen your build. It's also worth noting for those who don't know and are still confused on this point, the Warframes they're like armor, but they're also like a character class. So your starting Warframe does not define your gameplay, So the three Warframes that you get to choose from at the very start, was it Mag, Volt, and the other guy, the kind of all-rounder warrior guy, I can't remember his name, but he's the one that veteran players seem to recommend for new players. I went with Mag because she's got like Jedi pull abilities and whatnot, or like biotics from Mass Effect, and I thought that was pretty cool. But you're not stuck to that. You will be building more Warframes, and you will be using other Warframes. That's the point of the game. So you're sort of switching out your character class throughout the game. I'm on board. I am. I truly very much am. Okay, welcome to the map. This is where you're going to find missions. So as you can see, we've got little like turquoise diamonds that are pulsating. So those are nodes that we haven't visited at all yet. So you start out on Earth, and you're going to run through some missions. That's basically this linear prologue that takes you through these missions that get you items to like complete your ship. So it sort of tutorializes basic crafting. And then you fight a boss who's really not that difficult, and then it just throws you out into the world, and it's like, what do I even do? So my advice, again, a very new player. So not up to the standard of like those players who have thousands upon thousands of hours and multiple accounts. I'm just like at the 20-hour point or so. But as a new player, I think the best thing to do is just run through the planets and not really worry about all this stuff that's catching your eye in the periphery. Once you see something, or rather, I think this is the best way to do it. Once you get to a point where you ask the question, hang on, how do I do this? Look it up. Wiki on YouTube and whatnot. That's what I've been doing, and I've been having a lot of fun. You know, not like you could delve into the wiki and read up on every little thing that pops up on the screen, but I think it's much better to go by, you know, necessity is the mother of invention. You know, wait until you need to do something, or wait until you want to know how to do something and then figure out how to do it, because otherwise it's just way too overwhelming. It's just friggin' ridiculous. The game throws way too much stuff at you. And it's so dense after all these years of development. It's been like, what, 7 years? I think the game has been out for 7 years with all these free content updates and everything. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, so what you're going to end up doing is running through Earth. So, you know, for the most part, you probably want to just like do all the nodes. And then you'll get to like here, you know, this particular node, mobile defense Arcwing, it says. I'm like, I vaguely know what that is, you know, like a flying mechanic. Yo, Iron Man me up. I'm friggin' ready to go. Let's friggin' go. I want to do that, but you can't do it. Why? You must possess an Arcwing and have completed the Arcwing quest to play this mission. What? So then, you know, I went delving to find out what the hell you need to do for the Arcwing quest. Where is it, by the way? Mantle Earth. I was just right here. Anyway, so I've started the Arcwing quest, and I've done, I think, most of it. I've got at least one blueprint currently building, because the Arcwing requires 3 modules, so that's something else to note. I mean, it's really easy to go on tangents here. So some items, like Warframes and the Arcwing, and I'm sure there are other examples too that I haven't found yet, some items will require that you build other items as part of their construction. So it's not just like blueprint, resources, item. Sometimes it's blueprints for other items, and then resources to build those, you know? And the Arcwing is one example of that. So we need 3 pieces to build it, and that's what we're doing. We're going through this quest to get the initial blueprints for it. So it's kind of tutorialization, but sort of like not as well, you know? It can be super confusing. So I figured out that in order to even do this mission, what I had to do was do Venus Junction, get to Venus, run through Venus, and as you can see, I haven't done everything on Venus. I've just sort of like been very one-eyed. I want to do this Arcwing thing, so that's what I've been doing. Go through Venus, do certain missions on Venus, including this very wild boss fight. I was not expecting this. Like, for those of you who may be going, hey, it's just like tangent. Hold on, quick tangent. You look at gameplay for this game, and you think you know what's going on. It's fast-paced third-person action. You don't know what's going on, right? Because there's shit in here that I ain't even seen before until I actually started playing it. Like this friggin' boss fight. I'm not going to spoil it. It's nuts. Anyway. So then I had to go through Mercury just so I could go back to Earth to start the Arcwing quest. You with me, right? So with these junctions, they require certain criteria to be met. So they're almost like little knowledge gates. They don't necessarily teach you what to do, but you have to know something. You have to know how to do something before you can get through. For example, Venus Junction. You have to complete Quest Vor's Price. So that's just like the tutorial prologue thing. Collect 20 mods, okay? So it's sort of like a gate on your playtime. You have to play a certain amount of missions, essentially, to get a certain amount of mod drops. So like random drops in order to get through this section here. Apply 4 mods to a single Warframe. So then again, it's forcing you to actually apply mods to your Warframe. Which is something that I would have missed. If it wasn't for the fact that you have to do it to get to Venus, I wouldn't have really understood that concept. Again, maybe I'm just dense, I don't know, but I feel like the game could do a better job at tutorializing that sort of stuff. And again, I'm not ragging on the game necessarily. There's one aspect that it's sort of lacking in, tutorialization. But there's a lot of information out there. Just kind of wish more of it was in the game. Anyway, upgrade any mod to rank 2 or higher. Again, mod stuff it's making you do. Then we head through Mars, and what's the next thing that it makes you do? Mercury. Defeat Jackal, right? So that's like the big boss I was talking to you about earlier. Complete 10 waves of defense on Tessera. So this thing here, you can come out early. There's a point, like you do 5 waves and there it goes, hey, you want to extract or do you want to keep fighting? You have to keep fighting. You have to do 10 waves if you want to get through to Mercury. So if, I made that mistake the first time. I figured, I'll just like run through, I'll just do everything, not really understand what I'm doing. So like I had to play that mission again, which is not a big deal, like that's the thing with this game. You don't, I feel like you can't really mess yourself up. The worst you can do is waste time. I feel like the game doesn't let you wreck your account. The only reason I started again or felt like I needed to start again is because I didn't understand it. So I needed to start again to get a fresh perspective and go through the tutorial again, as little of it as there is. So yeah, all you got to do is waste time. So don't feel like you're messing anything up. I don't think that's really possible. Worst case scenario, you just have to invest more time to grind something up to then get the thing that you need to get back on track. What else needs to be done? Rescue a hostage. So it's like this particular one is making you do specific missions, right? So like you get the idea. So my advice is run through the planet. When you get to a new planet, figure out what is needed for the next junction, and then just make sure that you're fulfilling those things along the way, just to be as efficient as possible. And then Mercury is the dead end here. So this is where we had to do certain missions so that we could start the Arkwing quest. Oh, like it's dense. It's dense, but once you start understanding the loop, that's been the clincher for me. Like I said, the gameplay is simple. The gameplay is very simple, but the loop is what I didn't understand. And now I understand it. It's plan your build, figure out what blueprints you need and how you're going to get them, whether you buy them or whether they're dropped from, as quest rewards or whatnot. And then you figure out which planets you need to farm to get the resources in order to actually build those blueprints. For example, resource drones down here. Holy Christ. So this brings up, I'm going to turn off my camera for a second so you can see that. This shows us unlock all nodes in this system to deploy a resource extractor. Really? That's very cool. Okay, I honestly, I don't know about that. But apparently, this shows you what can be farmed from missions, I believe, on this planet. So if we go to Venus, the items change. So we got alloy plate, polymer bundle circuits, Feldrin sample. And let's go to Mercury. Morphix. I think I need Morphix. Ferrite, polymer bundle, etc. And then what about Mars? Because there's something I need. I need Gallite. I need to figure out where Gallite is. So no, Gallium. Gallium is what I need. It's on Mars. We in this, boys. Okay, cool. So I'm on the right track, right? I need gallium. Is that what it's called? Gallium. I need gallium to make the mace. I want my friggin' mace, dude. I'm desperate for it. So I'm going to be doing Mars missions to get gallium, and then I'll be able to make my mace. Let's fully go. I'm so ready. I'm so friggin' ready for that. Categories. So like, I encourage you to check out the store. Go to the, so you just hit escape. It's also here in the like cockpit of your orbiter, I think it's called, your little spaceship. So you go to the market, select your category, for example, melee weapons, and where is it? I desperately want the Magister. I want that mace. I need it. And all I'm missing is 2 gallium. That's all I'm missing. Just 2 gallium. And that's mine. Give me the mace. Give me those. Also, like I need, what else do I need? I need that hang on. If we go to Warframes here, just Warframes, I need friggin' Necros, dude. Look at this shit. Look at this. Look at this. Summon shadow versions of vanquished enemies to fight alongside you for a short period. What? That's huge. Can you get a look at of this man? Ridiculous. Necromancy and a mace in a sci-fi action RPG with loot. I mean, this is not Bush League, guys, you know? This isn't Bush League. Of course I'm gonna play it. This guy looks friggin' rad. He looks friggin' rad. I don't know if that's a smart build to go for, but I don't care. I don't care because it's fun. Just want to have fun. Anyway, so this is what you need to remember. If you are like me and you tried to play Warframe and you're just like, what the frig is going on? Here are the main points. The Warframes are like classes that you swap out. Alright? Number one, you are not locked to any one Warframe. Your starting Warframe doesn't really matter. For the most part. I mean, there are recommendations for certain ones to maybe start with, but I started with Mag, who isn't necessarily recommended as a good starting Warframe, I don't think, from what I've seen. It was fine. It wasn't a problem. You can't really wreck your account, as far as I'm aware. All you gotta do is waste time. So don't feel like you're messing anything up. You can try things out. For example, I purchased a Boltor, the current weapon I have. I purchased a blueprint for it, and then right after that, immediately got it as a reward. So what does that end up? It just means that I've wasted time because I'd have to run a few more missions in order to get that money back that I've essentially wasted because I actually didn't need to buy the blueprint. But it's fine. It's not a big deal. You know, we get by in the end. And you know, lastly, just run through the planets. The impression I get, again, I remind you, just 20 hours in the game, and you can see my progress here. Earth, Venus, Mercury, just started on Mars, so it's not that far. But my perception is, like, you want to run through the planets, and then once you've done all the planets, that's sort of like where the game starts, you know? That's where the grind starts. You start, you plan out your like, ultimate build. But even then, like, I think you're meant to swap out Warframes depending on the content that you're playing. There's so much going on, dude. Like, all this shit up here. Void Fishers? I didn't know what that was until I watched a video on it last night. And now I really want to do it. But I'm going to wait until Kluger and Stevens play with me. Because it seems like it's most efficiently done in a group. But, like, don't worry about that stuff. Don't worry about it. Until you need to do it, put it out of your head, because it's just going to overwhelm you and freak you out. Alright, guys. Welcome to my TED Talk. I'm hyped up. I'm friggin' pogged out of my skull. Vis-a-vis Warframe is going to let me be a necromancer with a mace. I don't know what to tell you, guys. Except, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to gently caress that like button. Let me know if you're a Warframe player. Give me your best tips and tricks. And set me straight. If I've said anything incorrect, I don't want to spread misinformation. So set me straight in the comments if there's anything you take issue with there. But thank you for watching. And I'll see you next time. Ricky Summer. Out.